Hi, everyone. This is Ben Guest, and today's podcast is about remembering Jasper Johnson. So, from 2000 to 2002, I was an English teacher and assistant basketball coach at Simmons High School in Hollandale, Mississippi, in the heart of the Mississippi Delta, a town of about 1,000 people. And my first year there were six seniors on the team, and we won the state championship. And the head coach was George Willis, and the superstar of the six seniors, the superstar on the team, was Jasper Johnson. And Jasper was just a special person, a great basketball player and an even better person. And he died on July 22nd, suddenly. And it was a shock to me, and it was a shock to his family and friends. Jasper has 3 children, and I was texting with Larry Brown, LB, one of the other seniors from the team, who's now a basketball coach himself. And I had interviewed Larry for the podcast, as it turned out, just a few days before Jasper died. And we had talked about Jasper in that podcast, but mostly we talked about coaching and basketball. And LB and I were texting back and forth, and LB was saying that a couple of the guys would like to record something sharing some memories of Jasper, and I thought that was a great idea. And not only so that it can help us process the loss, I also thought that it would be a nice thing for Jasper's family, and especially for his children, either now or as they grow older, to listen to and to hear some memories of Jasper. And before we get to the conversation, I'll just read a comment that another teammate, one of the younger players on the team, I think he was just in 8th grade when we won the championship. His name is Johnny Winston, and Johnny wrote this on Facebook after Jasper died. Although it hurts realizing you're no longer with us, the impact you made on us all in the community of Hollandale will never be forgotten. Growing up wanting to be smooth just like you, just as an aside, Smooth was one of Jasper's nicknames. Growing up wanting to be smooth just like you on and off the court. Julio, that's another nickname for Jasper. Julio, you're a real figure, a role model, a legend, and we will miss you dearly. You guided me and spoke greatness into me, and for that I'm forever grateful. Take your rest, champ, and stay away from the domino table up there because Will's still trying to cheat, I bet. Love you, big guy. It's bittersweet. This is the 20-year anniversary of winning that championship, and the head coach, Mr. Willis, Will, as his nickname was, has passed away, and Jasper, also called Julio or Smooth or Big Smooth, Jasper has passed away now. This is our tribute to Jasper Johnson, and it's me, Larry Brown, also known as LB, Ricky, who is one of the guards on the team, and Patrick White, who was one of the younger players on the team. And then joining us just for a bit is Jeremy Smith, who we call Mimi, who's Jasper's best friend and one of the starting guards on the team. So the conversation, but unfortunately Jeremy's call dropped out pretty quickly. So this is a conversation with LB, Ricky, Pat, and Mimi about Jasper Johnson. LB, let me check in with you, and just so you know, it's been, I guess, maybe about a month now since Jasper passed. How are you doing?
It's tough because I got these we got t-shirts. So in my closet, I got this t-shirt in my closet, and I got it turned to where when I go in the morning, I can see his face in the morning. So I mean, it's tough. Knowing when you go home, you ain't gonna be able to see it. So you just take the little things and try to day by day.
Mm-hmm. So now Ricky has joined the call, and I asked Ricky about a story that he shared with me about him and Jasper during their senior year. Because when we were talking off air the other day, you were sharing a story about senior year and how you were getting frustrated with your role on the team and actually wanted to quit the team. Can you share that story?
Yeah, I think we had lost the game, and it got real heated in the locker room. and it was a lot of back and forth. And I just told everybody I was like, I was done. I was throwing in the towel. I had actually packed up my uniform. I had packed it up the next day. I had washed it and put it all together. And I was actually headed to the gym, and Julio stopped me. He came in the gym with me because I had everything. I had told everybody. I was like, man, I can't take this no more. I'm done with it. So he found me in the gym. I was headed to Mr. Willis' office, and he was like, nah, I ain't gonna let you do that, bro. And he told me over and over. He said, nah, I'm not gonna let you do it. He said, I tell you what, I guarantee you, I'll get you a ring this year. He said, this is our last year. We got to go out with a bang, and I guarantee you, I'm gonna help you get a ring this year. And I was like, I don't care about no ring or nothing like that right now. I'm just done with this. But he's like, I ain't gonna let you do it. And so when I was trying to head to Mr. Willis, he like, nah, you ain't gonna turn it in. And it was like Mr. Willis was sitting in the corner, like, come on, bring it to me. But Jasper would not let me take it to him. So he's like, I'm telling you, I'm gonna get you this ring. We're gonna get this ring. Just trust me. So I was like, you know what? Since you say you're gonna get us a ring, then I'm gonna stick around for a minute. And I just held on to my uniform and stayed on the team.
And what happened?
We won the championship. And at the end, he told me, he said, I told you I was gonna get you that ring.
So what did he tell you like afterwards when you're celebrating, either on the court or in the locker room?
He said, we finally did it. He said, I gave you a promise and I held up to it.
Okay. Patrick, you were the young gun on that team.
Oh man,
Talk to us about Jasper.
it was more of a learning experience for me. And Julio, he was just a true humble dude. He was always willing to help you, and I would just pencil in. Guess I was just fortunate to be a part of the ride, man, which was an amazing experience for me. Because if I can go into, I have so many memories. You know what I'm saying? And just to share one with you really quick, I was just telling my brother about this one on yesterday. He and I was talking, and I was like, hey, Ted, do you know we really changed the game when we went to state that year, right? We had the blue or white nylon suits on, and then we went to the Metro Mall and bought all the jewelry. I guess. Like we bought all the jewelry, me and Ted with the two head honchos with that idea, and Ricky, you know what I'm saying? It was like, hey, man, let's go to the mall, man. And when I tell you, we came back to the hotel room, my windbreaker oversized. Everybody in the hotel room got silver chains on.
I totally forgot about going to the mall because we took the school bus.
Did you have a chain on too?
No, I didn't have one. I had the tracksuit, but I didn't have any chains.
Got you.
Now, Ricky, that chain you wearing now, is that from the Metro Mall?
No, it's not from the Metro.
Oh man.
You know, one of the things that I remember about the winning the championship in the playoffs is that first you play in district, and then you play in North State, and then you play at the big house at the Coliseum. And at each level, it was like a different player carried us. So I remember, I think it was North State, Tez was on fire. Patrick's older brother, Tez, was on fire. And in the two games for the championship, the semifinals and the finals, it was really Jasper who carried us. And so it was a neat thing of like a different player stepped up, but at that ultimate moment in the semifinals and the finals, and Nettleton changed their whole defense just to guard Jasper. And it was really Jasper who carried us in the biggest moment.
In that state championship game,
Mm-hmm.
what defense was Nettleton running? Were they running a man or something like that?
They did a triangle and two. Yeah, and
Triangle
they had one person on Tez, covering Tez everywhere, and they had one person on Jasper. And that's why, remember, we put Trey in, and Trey hit 4 threes in the second quarter and that was the
Got
key
to.
to the game, because now they had to go out of their triangle and two and play man to man, and then once it was man to man, it was just getting Jasper, all the time. Actually, that's a good point. Can one of you, for people that never saw Jasper play, and he's 6'6", can somebody explain what kind of game Jasper had?
He was a 3-level scorer. So he can put it on the deck, get to the basket, create his own shot. He had the mid-range, had the three. It was a matchup nightmare. So, like Nettleton, I had a guy, he was about 6'8". He went to Troy. Then they had a left-handed kid, he was about 6'4".
Mm-hmm.
So they couldn't put the big kid on because he was gonna take him to the post. Couldn't put the smaller kid on him because he was gonna go around him. So he was a matchup nightmare for everybody. I'm talking about everybody.
For 3A basketball in Mississippi, high school basketball, in the year 2000, 2001, he was like what a stretch 4 is now, where he could shoot from anywhere, could post up, could pass, could put it on the deck. But it was his outside shooting that really gave him, this incredible, that kind of unlocked everything else with his game, because now you got to put a big player on him, but you got to guard him 30 feet away from the basket.
He played above the rim.
Mm-hmm.
He played above the rim because, if they go zone, I forgot what's the name of the play we run where Julio be in the corner, they'll swing it back to the top, and I'll set the back pick. Julio come for the Michael throw the lob, Julio will catch it, and he'll dunk it.
I think that's 4.
Yeah, I think it 4.
That's 44. That's that backdoor lob, first play of the game.
So now we're joined by Jeremy Smith, nicknamed Mimi, who was one of the guards on that team. Unfortunately, Mimi was only able to join us for a few minutes, but in that time he shares a couple of funny stories.
Hey, that's the first play. Hey, Mr. Willis been running that play for 30 years, they say. Backdoor lob. Hey, that's the first play of the game. We run everywhere we go.
First play of the game? You right about that.
Mimi, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
So when we were in Jackson for the championship, what did you buy at Metro Mall?
Oh, yeah, we got them grills. Yeah, we got them grills.
The necklace, we had the necklace and all that.
And the grill, no. Hey, cause look, I remember we took that picture. Most wanted, dead or alive.
Yes.
I got the picture in my phone.
Yep.
I just saw it the other day. I got it in my phone. I'm gonna send it to you.
How would you describe Jasper's game, Mimi?
Jasper, smooth lefty like Sam Perkins.
Mm-hmm.
Flow general. Jasper was really the first point forward I ever seen in person. Cause like against team with presser, if they were hard pressed, Jasper get up, walk it up. He'll walk and press beat himself. He get him putting that left hand and turn that big body around. He'll walk it up, and we break the press just like that.
It's real. He walk it up.
Yeah, that reminds me. Jasper was never in a hurry on the court.
Oh.
Saw everything, understood what was happening, and then just, picked his spots as to what the team needed.
Cause like everybody know, me and Jasper best friend, but in pickup ball, I ain't never want to be on team with him. I said, man, I can't take no coaching in rec ball. He want to run sets in rec ball. Cause we was like in the summertime, he come back to Delta State, he come pick up me, him, Alex, Ted. All them go down and play with Delta State Jasper. They like, I'll sit back, I'll stay back in the car. I ain't trying to play on team with Jasper. I'll let them go and get the first run. I ain't trying to get coached in rec ball.
I ain't
trying to run no sets in rec ball. Hey, he wants you going here. He directing traffic in rec ball.
Mimi, what do you remember about the championship game against Nettleton?
It was a close game at first, but Alvin and Patrick gave us a big spark out to be along with Clarence. Along with the stars, we're gonna do our thing. But those guys gave us a big spark out the bench. Especially the prior game against Rosedale, really when Patrick and Alvin gave us a big boost. Because we needed everything from them that game.
Sure.
Because we were slaves. We couldn't get going against Rosedale till like maybe 4 or 5 minutes in the fourth quarter where we were able to extend the lead past 4 points.
That's real. That's so real right there.
But Patrick and Alvin gave us a big one. Like in the championship game, Clarence hit all those threes. That was a big boost. And then once we scratched out,
Mimi, what did you and Jasper say to each other after you won?
I mean, we hugged and he said, I told you it was gonna happen. He said, didn't I tell you? I just remember he hugged me and he wouldn't let it go. He was crying. It was like some of the first taste of real success in organized basketball I had.
Mm-hmm. Because you guys had been there twice, your sophomore and junior,
Twice.
your 10th and 11th grade year, but finally won it your 12th grade year last year.
Yep. We should have three-peated. We had the, and in all actuality, we won a state championship with the worst team we went down there with.
Talent-wise.
That's probably the worst team we went down there with and won a championship with.
Mm.
You think so? You think talent-wise? Maybe you think so?
Talent-wise, that probably yeah. It was the smallest team we went down there with, and talent-wise, I know the smallest team we went down there with.
But you guys were locked. You guys were locked in.
Man, team full of dogs.
We were like, I was telling some guys the other day, that team there with tenacity on defense, if we go up 4-5 points, it's over with. We gonna go in. We finna go in that matchup zone, and you can shut it. And it's over with.
It's over.
We're gonna stay in that matchup zone like Temple, and you can cancel that game. We go up 5 points, it's over with. If we go up 5, you can cancel that game.
I still remember that matchup zone. So the matchup zone that we ran, it was sort of like a 2-3 zone, except the two guards at the top almost kind of played man to man.
We have Rick, me and Rick at the top, or be Mike and Ted at the top, and then with Jasper, Larry, me at the backside, and Jasper and Larry rotate gonna be that back man. It's over with. That's one thing about it. We never played 2-3 zone. I think the whole time I was in high school, we never played 2-3.
It was matchup zone or man to man.
Man to man, they the match. That's the only thing we played.
Mm-hmm. I can hear Will's voice right now. Go to matchup. Go to matchup zone. Go to matchup.
I remember when somebody missed a sign. I remember we was at Nelson, and that dude, I ain't rotate back to the corner. Dude shot that 3. That one snapped me right out the game. Mr. Willis didn't play by missing a sign.
I remember once Mr. Willis was talking to somebody, and just like Mimi saying, trying to explain why he missed a defensive assignment, and Mr. Willis said, "The more you talk, the dumber I get."
Yeah.
That's it.
That was Marcus Sanders.
Yeah, I think that was Marcus Sanders. Yeah, he said it to Marcus.
And the more you talk, the dumb I get.
The more you talk, the dumb I get, Marcus.
Okay, so let's maybe each share a story about Mr. Willis. Why don't we start with LB?
I remember we was playing, I want to say we were playing Leland, and the referee I think he missed like a couple calls. So he got up, the referee stopped. He told me, miss another call, I'm gonna have the mob blow your call.
So just to be clear, what Mr. Willis said to the referee was, if you miss another call, I'm gonna have the mob blow your car up.
Yeah,
I said, what?
But the way they gonna have the mob, they gonna have the mob to blow your car up. He showed us. I was down in Leland, I showed they gonna have the mob to blow your car up.
So at this point, Jeremy's call dropped, and the rest of the guys and I continue talking about Jasper. What was Jasper like as a person?
As a person, he was a humble man. He always wanted to see everybody succeed. He always wanted everybody to just get along. He wanted to treat everybody like family. No matter who you were, what you did, or anything, he always wanted to see everybody just succeed in life.
Maybe could each of you share the last time that you saw Jasper? So Larry, we'll start with you, then Pat, then Ricky.
I came home it was Memorial Day weekend. So Saturday night, I saw him. He had a party. So we hung out. We talked for a minute. Then Sunday, I saw him. He was down his relative's house, and my uncle stayed down the street. So he walked down the street, and we talked. So we just talked about life and everything. And he was saying that he was gonna buy his mom a trailer because my uncle stayed in the trailer. So he was asking my uncle, what the size of the trailer and how much it cost. So he said, he was like, he gonna buy his mom a trailer. And then we just talked about me coaching basketball and what do I think about certain basketball players, how the game changed. You know, I asked him about stuff overseas, and we was talking about him coming down here. He was gonna let me know when he came down, and that was it. We said, "All right, I'll see you later." And he walked back down the street. It was like an hour conversation.
Mm-hmm. His conversation with Julio was always comfortable. I mean, that's one of the things that really struck me. So I was saying off air that when I was there with you guys, I was 25 years old. I mean, I was, you know, you were 17, 18. I was really young myself. And the thing that struck me about Jasper is even as an 18-year-old, he was so much, it's like he had so much figured out about life. Even I looked at Jasper and I was like, he's got life more figured out than I do. And he's, you know, I'm 25 and I'm a teacher and I'm ostensibly his coach, his assistant coach. But as an 18-year-old, you know, he's got more figured out than I do. So, you know, Jasper could talk to anybody. He could talk to, you know, and I think looking on Facebook after he passed and seeing a lot of the Korean fans from when he played in the South Korean League. And you could just tell that he was somebody that related to anybody, whether it was somebody who grew up in the Delta, whether it was somebody from the Northeast like myself, whether it was somebody in Korea. You know, Jasper just attracted people, and you wanted to be around him. Pat, why don't you talk about when was the last time you saw Jasper?
Last time I saw Jasper, I think it was graduation weekend. Prior to that, it had been a few years, but we always stay in connect through social media, texting. You know what I'm saying? But it's different when you see someone actual flesh. You know what I'm saying? So I saw my man. You know what I'm saying? So it's always love when I see Julio, man. When I saw him, he was happy for me because I, like I said, hadn't seen him in a few years. You know, we dapped up, we hugged. You know what I'm saying? We chopped it up briefly. Because around that time, you know, everybody in town trying to see family. We just moving. Everybody just moving. Just talking to everybody, you know, just trying to see who you haven't seen. And yeah, it was a real brief convo, man. Maybe like 15 minutes, but I did get a chance to exchange love with my man, you know what I'm saying? So it was just, when I seen him, he was happy. He was just happy for me, man, like he always is, you know what I'm saying? So I just accepted all the energy, and I told him I was going to link up with him later on that day. And the weekend had progressed, and somewhere along the way we ended up just not linking. So graduation weekend, that Friday, that's the last time I saw my man.
Okay, so Ricky, when was the last time you saw Jasper?
Last time I saw Jasper was in January. He was reaching out to me because I had a death in the family. He was just checking on me, seeing how I was doing. And he was basically just being him, just talking, trying to get my mind off things. We texted and talked about meeting up for homecoming this year, actually. And that was my last time talking to him when we was talking about getting the things together for our class reunion.
And because this is the 20-year anniversary of us winning.
This 20th anniversary?
Yeah, 20 years.
Oh man, I didn't even know that. Yo. Oh my God. Hey, for real?
Time flies.
Big dub.
I also remember I was texting with Ricky and LB about Mr. Willis would have shooting contests, and Tez said that because you play around the world, and Mr. Willis would go first, and he'd look at Tez and he said, "I'll see you when I get back."
Wow, that's crazy you said that. Yo, that's crazy you said that. Me and Tez were talking about this stuff last night, man. He said, "Man, Rat, when I used to shoot with Mr. Willis, the dude just look at me before he shot the ball and said, all right, Tez, I'll see you when I get back." He said that to me last night. He said that Mr. Willis, you say that to him. Hey, guess. Willis.
Yeah.
I got one even better for you though, bro.
Go ahead.
Them battles that you and Ducci used to do after practice.
Oh my God. I was just thinking about that the other day too. Like, you know what my record against Ducci must be? It's like 0-20. Ducci and I played, I think the first time we played one-on-one, it was in front of, like, it was at the end of practice and the team was sitting waiting.
Everybody watching.
And it was I think we're playing to 5 and it was like 4-4 and I missed the shot and then Ducci ended up winning. And it's like, sometimes if you just have that little bit of psychological edge on somebody that you know you beat them before, because that was it. After that game, I couldn't beat Ducci for anything. I was
Guess you know the
just
left
thinking
hand
about
hook
that the
up.
other day. Uh-huh.
Yeah, me. Guess we come across the lane with the sweep and hook. You know,
Yeah. Listen,
Ducci
those
done
was
foul my boy, man. Ducci done
yeah
foul my boy hard, man.
hard.
I wish Mimi was still on the phone. It was like early
me.
on, like I didn't know you guys that well. And I think Ducci and I were standing on the side, it was practice, and Mimi came over, was just talking trash. And I was like, I can't let this little 17-year-old talk trash to me. And so, I wasn't gonna do it, but like I grabbed him by his shirt or something, just playfully. Next thing I know, Mimi had me in a headlock. And then the worst part about it was the next day, Keisha Ballard in my 11th grade English class, she's like, I heard one of the basketball boys beat you up.
That was that rumor that was going around in the hallway. That's that rumor that had going around school, Rick. I guess they got to a scuffle with a player.
It's funny, like I said at the top, most things fade in life in your memories, but there are certain things that just become even more important or more special. And that whole year, and that was my first year as a coach. I was an assistant coach. To literally have my first year coaching to win a state championship, something else.
You walk right into a ring, man.
Mm-hmm.
You walk right into a ring, man.
I tell people I had the best seat in the house.
Sideline view.
And I remember that one of the things I remember is at the Coliseum, Michael hit a shot. I wish Michael could have been here today as well. Michael hit a shot to put us up by 10 with a minute left, and I knew we were going to win. And I look up in the stands, and the whole town is in one section celebrating. And it's one of my most special memories from that time.
My special memory from the state championship game itself would definitely have to be when they put that medal around my neck, when they called my name out. That's the first time I ever felt like in my life that I besides graduating, but the first time in my life that I felt like I really, really was a part of something, accomplished something really, really, really serious. That's definitely going to go down in the history book forever. And it was documented. It was filmed. And that's something they can't ever take away from me, guys. I bent my head down. He put the thing on. He put it on my head. So therefore, I'm a champion for life.
Thinking about change and growing and progressing as adults, what is the biggest change that you've each made in your life in terms of just maturing? Why don't we go LB, Ricky, then Pat?
Just enjoying, just stopping and enjoying the moment. I think our championship year, we had fun. It was all business. It was all business because we lost 2 years in a row. So it was all business. I don't think we actually stopped and just enjoyed each other, enjoyed the moment, knowing that this was going to be the last year. I remember I had fouled out, I'm sitting on the bench, and I was sitting in the seat right beside Mr. Willis. He was up for the game over. He was the first person I hugged. So I hugged him. He crying. He said, I love you. I was like, we did it. And seeing the town just rush onto the court, it was just those memories. We didn't enjoy the journey, just sit back and just enjoy the journey. Like I tell my kids, enjoy the journey, enjoy each other, because that's the best time of being around your teammates, your high school friends. Practice every day, on the bus rides, in the locker room. The game is gonna take care of itself because we know we're gonna win. We knew that. That was the easy part. that was the easy part, right? We're gonna win. That was the easy part. Mr. Guest, the only question was about how much. We were gonna win. It was about how much. But just
at some point.
Yeah, enjoying each other. That's all. That's what I learned, just to stop and just enjoy the moment.
Right, because it goes quick. Like when I think back on that season, I think how fast it was. And I remember the way I felt, because remember after we won, we stopped. It might have been like Shoney's or IHOP. We stopped somewhere.
Yes.
And get Shoney's. We stopped at Shoney's, and we were all sitting together. I think actually Jasper said, okay, all the seniors and the coaches, get the center table. And I just remembered feeling at that moment, literally we got the medals around our necks. And to me, it felt like, okay, so when's the next game? Because you're so in that mindset of next game. Okay, we won this game, when's the next game? We won this game, when's the next game? And I didn't appreciate how special it was. And it's only years later when I reflect back on it. So LB, I think you're exactly right. Like it goes quick, and those are memories that are going to be really special for you. So just try to enjoy it in the moment. Okay, Ricky, what about you? What's how have you changed and matured as a person?
As a person, I would say becoming a family man.
Hmm.
I've learned to appreciate things more, show more love to my family, my kids, and just getting out and grinding for mine. Not always looking for a handout when I was younger, but now I have to man up and do what I need to do to take care of home, and also reach out to my brothers more now. With the passing of one of my brothers, it made me feel that I have to really just step up and check on everybody more now and try to keep that bond like we had before. Because I know everybody grow up and move on, but with this happening, it's bringing us back together.
Yes.
We getting that bond back like we used to have, and it's a great feeling.
Yeah, that's so important, Rick. And that, I mean, the flip side of that is, it's the 20-year anniversary, and the head coach has passed, and the superstar of the team has passed. I mean, it's really, there's,
Yeah.
I mean, like so much in life, right? It's happy and sad at the same time. You take the good and the bad at the same time. Pat, your turn. How have you changed and matured as a person? I mean, you were kind of talking a little bit about this off air when we started, in terms of, you kind of being a little bit immature as a high school kid. So
Definitely was, man. Definitely was, man. So you know how they say, like, if you know the things that you know now, you know what I'm saying? A lot of things would have never taken place. But they say in life, you gotta grow. You gotta grow into those forms. You gotta grow. Your mind gotta go stronger. Uh, I have two lovely kids right now, I guess. I have a daughter that's 16. I have a son who's 6. He just turned 6 on Friday. Man, I just want to continue to be a great father. I just want to be a great father to my kids, man. Show them stuff that they ain't never had before. Get them things they never had before, the things that I never had before. Uh, Definitely not be like me, because the person that they thought I was not that person. I was just a little antsy, you know what I'm saying? I was with the wrong crowd, it'd be like that when you're growing. But my progression in life is tremendous, man. I just want to keep progressing, uh, keep tapping in with my family, my friends, my loved ones, such as you guys, my brothers. Although we don't speak often, but when we do link and talk, it's all love. And just trying to stay motivated, guys. Because it's hard when you lose a brother. You know what I'm saying? That's like a mental war you battling. As much as we try to like push it to the side, we can't. That's a permanent mark for right now. So we're just gonna have to keep just striving, man. Just keep being the best that we can be as people. You know what I'm saying? And if we can do that, man, we're gonna be all right. Every day ain't the same.
why don't we end here? So Jasper's children are going to grow up, and I think it would be nice if we could each say something to Jasper's kids about what kind of man he was, because I'm sure now or when they get older, they're going to want to know as much as they can about their father. So why don't we just each share something as if we're speaking to Jasper's kids, and what we'd like what we'd like to share with them about who their father was. Let's go LB, Pat, Ricky.
Jasper, well, Jasper, I hate saying was. That's the toughest. That's the toughest thing to say was. So I'm saying he is. because even though he's physically not here, he's still with us every day. So Jasper, he's like a great human being. He left an impact, like he was a Kobe Bryant of our time. That was his impact. He was a great person. He was a great leader. He'll give you the shirt off his back. He'll talk to anybody. He quick to motivate you, quick to say he's proud of you. He's always thinking about you and not himself.
Yeah.
And he was just a wonderful human being, somebody you want to be around all the time. And he was big on bringing family, friends, everybody together and just sit back and we just all enjoy each other. And he's gonna be truly missed, but we're gonna always talk about him, so he's gonna always be around.
Yeah, for sure. Pat?
Well, I have two words. Living legend, all caps. That's all I got to say.
100%.
You're living legend, guys.
Mm-hmm.
To his kids, his lovely kids. Your father was indeed a living legend. Everything they said about him is legit, the legit things. But for me, your dad is a living legend.
That's lovely. Ricky?
I would say a humble, God-fearing man, and always wanted to motivate. So, to his kids, know that he's still motivating you. At the end of the day, regardless of what you're going through, he's still there to motivate you.
For me, for Jasper's children, now as you get older, if you think about somebody in your life that you love to be around, somebody who makes you feel better about being you, that's who Jasper was. And that's who Jasper was at 18, and that's who Jasper was at 25, and that's who he was at 35. He was just that person. He was just like a light, like a beacon, and everybody wanted to share and have that light shine on them. And he wasn't selfish with that light. He shined it on everybody. So that's who Jasper was. So we were gonna end there, and then the guys and I got to talking some more about the team and stories and Mr. Willis. So here's one more story about Mr. Willis. So I'm working on a book about coaching basketball, like my experiences coaching basketball. And most of it has to do with being a head coach overseas in Namibia, but it starts with kind of what I learned from Mr. Willis. So I've been asking different guys, what do you remember about Mr. Willis? What are some things he said? And somebody said, I can't remember who said it and who he said it to. It was something like, you couldn't hit a bull in the ass with a bull ass hitter.
Yeah, he told Julio that. I think Julio was in like a shooting slump, so he told Julio that.
Julio, you can't hit a bull in the ass with a bull ass hitter. Because I was on the side. I used to be in the locker room doing it right here like this. When Will get to talking, I used to be like right here. Who Will gonna say something crazy to now? That's quite hilarious on halftime break, man.
It's like, who would even think of such a thing? A bull ass hitter.
Man, I can only imagine the stuff that he used to say while the games used to be going on against, but y'all used to sit right beside him. I can just only imagine some of that stuff that dude used to say, man.
He's one of the funniest people I've ever been around.
He's a total Mr. Willis. I can understand this with all my heart. This guy's a total different guy outside that gym, man. Mm-hmm. He is not the same person, guys. And that's why I used to struggle with, like, hold on, bro, like, come on, Mr. Willis, you just talking nice to me double quick. We get to the gym, you're like, you don't know me.
Oh man, I used to tell people, like, those years I was there, I used to tell like friends and family back home, I'd be like, this man can combinate curse words. He'll put together curse words you don't even think could go together.
Man. Come on, yeah, he does, man. Mr. Willis, this dude, he's telling me all the time when we practice. He said, Pat, you don't want to play no ball, man. you want to be a rapper. That's what I promise you, that's what he just tell me, guys. And I always think about that to this day, man. He said, you don't want to play no ball, Patrick. You want to be a rapper.
What do you do
And
now?
I'm a rapper.
All right, fellas, let's end there. Listen, I love you guys. It's great to see you on video, and I hope sooner than later I can see you in person.
I love all y'all guys, man. Y'all be safe, man.
All right, fellas.
For sure.
So that was our tribute to Jasper Johnson, to George Willis, to the Simmons High School Blue Devils, and to the town of Hollandale. This is Ben Guest. You can find all of my work at benbow.substack.com. That's benbow.substack.com. And to echo what LB said during the conversation, appreciate the moments because they go fast.